Good morning. I guess I want to talk about leisure time, whatever that means. I'm very much not the person to talk to about leisure time. So, this is going to be me muddling through stuff. So don't expect any great insights here. I am finding myself more wound up by certain things, by many things. I have been playing chess, and the chess will, the vocabulary is always very interesting to me, because there's different vocabulary. In chess, it's called tilt. It's like when you get upset, and you start making angry moves, you start making quick moves, you start making reactionary moves, where you're not thinking through. Basically, you get mad and you start making mistakes. Gamer rage in the chessboard. And it makes, I have to slow down. I have to force myself to slow down. And it's too fast. I react too quickly. I need to calm down. But chess wasn't leisure time. I'm playing the game. Just there's a meme of a guy slow walking down a hallway, and it says, "Me on my way to play a game that makes me unfathomably angry to relax." This is not relaxation. Also, I wind up getting if I am trying to relax, my mind is still, if I'm not distracted enough, and I have talked about this before, I might have to review some vlags, but if I'm not distracted enough, then my mind is just split. I've still got 50%, I've got 49% of my head working on being annoyed with the thing that happened, and then 51 is playing the game, and it's not good for either. So I've been trying to figure out what is an appropriate means of stopping the flywheel. Just kind of a reset. Just step away from something, take a walk. Although it's 26 degrees right now. It doesn't really matter. Even perhaps taking that walk in the 26 degree temperature will make me feel super cold, and I'll get back in and go, oh, it's so nice and warm. And maybe all of that, physical effect is enough to shake me out of whatever I was in. And this has, productivity functionality as well, productivity purposes, because you get the equivalent of tilt when you're trying to work on a problem and you can't make any progress on it, or something new pops up, playing bug whack-a-mole, and it's like, how do I get out of this? And you have to step away. So I have been exploring more video games from before, what's it called? Well, before modern gaming became a thing. So I've got this DS Lite that's loaded with a completely legal cartridge and a completely legal GBA cartridge, and it's actually got the trimmed down cartridge on the bottom, so it's nice. It's decked out. Could probably use a new screen. It's new. I got a new battery for it, but battery life is still not as great as I would like it to be. But it's probably just not that efficient. 2 screens for a DS, even if you're just doing Game Boy games. But Yeah, nostalgia bait is a thing, and if I'm going to play, there's a couple games, like weird games that I played as a child that I couldn't beat, couldn't figure out, and now I just kind of breeze through them, unless they're like stupid hard. It's mostly just chance that you get through. But understanding the mechanics a lot easier and all that, like, oh, this game's kind of easy. I'm going to burn through this in 40 minutes, and I have. Super Mario World, like, I got through that. I played straight through it. It's like 15 or 20 minutes or something like that. And I remember there was a particular rainy day where we were kind of trapped inside the house, so couldn't go out and play. And I had we didn't have batteries, so I had the wall adapter for the Game Boy plugged in. Oh, and the connector was all worn out too. You had to hold it just so. Oh no, it's all coming back. And I was like laying on the floor with the Game Boy, the DMG Game Boy, playing Super Mario World, and you beat the game, and then it lets you go through it again with more enemies, and then you can go through it again with more enemies. Like, it's more enemies or different enemy placements or something like that. But I beat it like 8 times in one sitting, because that's all you get. You get one sitting each play. And I think I was like done, and I want to say I turned it off, but what's much more likely is I set it down to go to the bathroom or something, and then the power cable jiggled, and then it died. And of course, there's no save states or anything like that. So that's well, it's a solid memory. It's been there for a while. But one of the problems I'm recognizing is that I just don't, for the most part, I just don't care. It's just not interesting. I have problems, projects I want to work on. Those things are interesting to me, but they're also work. Like, it's difficult, and I'm not, like, it's interesting to me to go and try and figure out Haskell and try to figure out the problems about the software surrounding Haskell in order to get to a point where I can learn Haskell. But that doesn't change the fact that it's difficult. It is not leisure time. It is not relaxation time. And most television, most just sitting and watching something just bores me to tears. I much prefer the interactivity of a game, something that I can think about. I have had pretty good resiliency. Something that's been good for a long time is short pick up and put down games. There is actually it's in 2 games now. I think it's called New Super Mario World or something. Whatever, the Game Boy or the DS Mario version where he becomes giant. There are mini games in that game, and one of those is Luigi's card game Paragon. And I liked playing that game. And once I kind of figured out the mechanics, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. Makes you think. You win enough. You can get to a point where you lose because it's just a bad run of cards, but it's still, like, you can still plan ahead and stick to solid strategies to get to a point where you can win most of the games, so more than most of the games. And I've liked playing that game. It's also on Mario 64 for the DS. There's like a rec room in there where it has some mini games, and Paragon is one of them. But I actually keep coming back to that game enough that I, to the point that I enjoy it, where I'm like, well, why don't I just make this? Why don't I just make this in UXN? Like, why don't I reproduce it so that it becomes an independent, playable game? Because that seems like that would be fun, and then I would be able to play it on different systems and stuff. And the answer to that question is, I don't know, lol, like, it's still work. Oh well, I'm sorry. My point was that that's a kind of a good relaxation game. There's another. They're like simple. Oh gosh, I'm gonna say it. They're PopCap games. They're casual games. There's another one that I saw that's called Zuma or something like that, and it's a PopCap game where you basically play Bust a Move with a line of colored pearls that swirls around, and you have to hit them and match pairs, and then make them disappear before you get to the end, or before they stack up and make it to the end. And I was introduced to that one. I'm like, that's kind of fun. I played it for a while. Like, oh, this is nice. This is like a little it's like a little snack. And I guess that's leisure. You kind of turn your brain off for it. But like, Puzzle Quest is much more engaging and interesting and vast as far as different play types and stuff like that. I really like Puzzle Quest. Yeah, and that's available on the DS as well. Kind of a clunky port, but whatever. Still pretty good. That's kind of the point. Is like, what stands out? What reliably works in this task, in this job? What reliably works at this function? Yeah, I mean, they kind of are casual games. I mean, there are other games, I guess you call them pick up and put down. Like, I was trying to figure out Etrian Odyssey after it came up on the Nintendo Direct, and the music slaps. The music is fantastic, actually. The music is crazy good. Like, that's really impressive stuff. Especially, like, the FM synth version on the DS is great. But on the 3DS, there's, like, actual orchestral performances. And it's delightful. It is very nice. Yeah, so, and that's it's kind of a grindy game, and you spend a bit of time wandering around, and it's not very the gameplay is not super fast, and you do need to break up the action with heading back and resting and all that. You have to. The first thing I did in that game was like kind of build up a team of something. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing, but put together a team and then go on out there and then just like kind of get in a first fight and like, all right, that was cool. Let's try the next fight, and then just get destroyed, and then game over. Like, restore from your save, game over. And go back in. I'm like, okay, I got to go a little bit slower. Game over. Okay, obviously I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? I need healing. I need to be able to figure this stuff out. And it's much more slow paced. So maybe that's people were talking that. The reviewers were talking about that as kind of a pick up and put down game. And I mean, why shouldn't they? The DS is kind of designed for that. It's a clamshell design, so you can open it up, play a little bit, and then close it up, and then open it and pick up right where you left off with that suspend state. This is a feature that I should be making use of. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, these games can still be on, you can emulate them. But I don't know. I guess sitting in front of a computer is just work. That's just work time. It just feels different, I guess. You know, I do have reading that I need to do and that I want to do, but I don't have casual reading, I guess you could say. I don't have leisure reading. Maybe I should change that. Oh, I do have a series of books that I like. Maybe that's a good idea. How do you unwind? Put your comments down in the comments. Comment below how you unwind. Don't forget to subscribe and the buttons. Goodbye, YouTube. Is it? Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe.